I just wanted to come on here for a quick sharing um, of something that just came up for me today, and I thought I needed to share because it's been coming up for me in the last few weeks, as well as some of my clients inside of the certification program, as well as in Sacred Interiors Academy, my coaching program. And so, what that is, I thought I would start it with the question of, have you ever started a design project that you've dropped and not completed to the very end? And I know that the answer is yes. And the only reason I wanted to share that with you and ask you that question was to bring insight into what that actually means about what we are presently going through in our life, in our personal life, regardless of how, of what that project is that you're working on. So this week, today actually, specifically, I realized that I dropped a couple of really important commitments in my life. And I dropped a couple of phone calls I really needed to get on. I dropped a couple of meetings that I needed to be a part of. There's a few commitments that are really important to me that I have literally dropped. Obstacles have come up, issues with technical things have come up, all kinds of funky little tricks and um, just obstacles have shown up, and I have been gracious about them today, especially where I realize all these droppings were happening. And it's because we are so used to continuing this cycle of guilt and of shame also. Yes, integrity is really important. And yes, fulfilling that commitment that you put out, right? That you commit yourself to and that you have for other people with other people is a very big part of um, your integrity. And it's a really big testament when the pattern of flaking out on commitments happen, or when not finishing one of those projects is a consistent thing and it becomes a pattern. It is a good mirror effect to find out, number one, where are you taking on more than you need to be taking on? Number two, how committed are you really to the project that you have in front of you? I see this a lot with people's homes, for example, and again, dropping these commitments unconsciously, right? Because it's a different story when you make an effort to change things around just because you're trying to get organized. But when you just kind of procrastinate about them or just become blind to them, there is a lesson to be learned. And this applies in your life, in your appointments, in your commitments, in your learning journey, and then also in your home journey, because I see a lot of my clients go through this, and it's part of why they come to me, not just to design their spaces, but also to coach them in the process, which is they consistently take on all these big projects or small projects, sometimes as small as organizing a closet or as big as remodeling a kitchen, and then they don't actually finish. And a lot of the story of what gets in the way is related to their worthiness, and it's related to how much they actually want what they're working towards. And it's okay when you do drop those commitments and when you do drop those projects, to take a step back and not blame yourself, shame yourself, guilt trip yourself and your, team or your partner if they're helping you or whatever it is, but really take a radical honesty look, or a radically honest look at yourself, and find out, why am I procrastinating this? What is it that I'm not getting from finishing this and for moving to that next level of having the space of my dreams, having whatever it is that you are committing to? And so I shared that with deep, personal insight on what I'm going through. And today, as I coached one of my students through her process of, shoot, I dropped the module, I'm not finishing the work, I haven't submitted the homework I needed to submit. And as she was going through her freak out about it, it made me realize and wake up to the reality and the understanding of, where in my life I was doing the same, which is part of what I love about being a teacher, is that your student as a teacher, you mirror each other as well. And what came to me in this specific moment, and not as an excuse ever, because excuses are just a way to sabotage ourselves in any capacity, but not as an excuse, but as an honest accountability of yourself, to also give yourself grace when you are going through those moments, right? So again, to take that step back and not guilt trip yourself for it, not feel pressure to just accomplish for the sake of accomplishing it and just getting it done. The journey is supposed to be it, right? It is not the destination. That's what everybody says. It is a journey, and that is absolutely true, but it takes a certain level of will to fulfill what it is that your vision ultimately is, and to stay in the journey as opposed to just quitting the journey. So, my suggestion, if you're feeling like there's projects in your life and in your home right now that you've procrastinated and that you're not getting done, instead of pushing yourself more right away out of fear, out of lack of worthiness, to complete it and to just get it over with, really take a moment to sit down and reassess and renegotiate the agreement that you made, because sometimes that agreement may just no longer work for you. Maybe that's not the vision you have anymore. Maybe that's not as important to you as you thought it was. Or maybe there are just blind spots in what you're doing that you're missing out on. Maybe you're not having the right support. Maybe your expectations also were not clear from the beginning. I go through this a lot with clients who have tried to, let's say, renovate a bathroom or something like that, and the project has been stopped for months and months because they didn't have the right expectation of how much money it was going to be, how much time it was going to take, how much legwork it takes to shop for materials and tiles and colors and fixtures, and return things that arrive broken, and track packages that get delivered to the wrong address, and all these behind the scenes of a design project, as well as any journey that you're designing in your life, have a lot of details that it is important to have a clear expectation of from the beginning, but also it is important to have the flexibility to just adapt to whatever changes come up. So when there are mold issues that you weren't looking for or expecting, or when there are plumbing issues that you didn't know you had, that you have what it takes to face them and to fix them and to work through them as they come. So I just wanted to say that to you right now as I'm going through my own reflection of my weeks and my days, and coming out of a few weeks of very intense work personally and spiritually. I am choosing to give myself grace today and to forgive myself and to not take myself too seriously and not too hard on myself, and to be okay with the mess in my home today, to be okay with my dishes not being done today, to be okay with some of those projects that have not been finished today, because that is what my intuition is saying, is do that today. Tomorrow, I might have all the strength to get it all done and complete those projects. And so take a look at yourself, short term and long term. Yes, is it a pattern that you continuously do this to yourself? There's something deeper to look into there. But if that's not who you are, if your authentic self is not someone who's flaky and who's just going to drop things all of the time, then when that does happen, just give yourself a little bit of compassion and a little bit of grace, and honor yourself. Know that you're still worthy. Know that you still have a lot to contribute, a lot of value, and the clarity will come for the next steps to take to finish what it is that you're wanting, what you are desiring, and what you are wanting to design and to create. And this is why the Sacred Interiors approach is so unique and is so powerful and it's so beautiful. It is because simple projects like decorating, quote unquote, simple, your home is a much deeper reflection of your inner self. And it's a much deeper opportunity to see yourself in that material world, to see what it is that you're infusing your home with and what it is that lives inside of you, and to work through the process of the Sacred Interiors design is such an enlightening journey, because you get to make tangible what you are desiring for yourself and for your life. You get to see it, you get to enjoy it, you get to be in it every single day, every single night. You get to retrieve in it. It becomes your creative space, it becomes your nourishing space, and it becomes your sanctuary. And that is what Secret Interiors is all about. So, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon.